Am I my own teacher? Am I my own guide? Then you can lower your hand to the lower abdomen on the left side. Just above the space where your hip crease is. And press firmly here. And here, silently within, you can ask, request, I want to know the truth about myself. I want to know the pure truth about myself. Not how it is written in books, not how it is described or discussed or debated. I want to know the truth as it is. The pure truth. Now you can bring your right hand back up to the upper abdomen. And here within, you can affirm within yourself, I am my own teacher. I am my own guide. Now we can take our right hand up back to the heart. I want you to think, what makes this heart beat? Without thinking, without feeling. How does it know what to do? It has all of the knowledge built within it. It is its own teacher. And what makes it beat is nothing but an energy, a life force. It is the same energy that tells the cells to become a child in the womb. The same energy that makes the flowers blossom and the trees grow. It is a pure energy of consciousness. And it flows through all living things. We can call this energy the spirit. or spirit. It is pure awareness and divine intelligence built into our heart. So within your heart, you can affirm, I am not this body. I am not this mind. Nor am I these thoughts or emotions. I am pure consciousness. Pure consciousness flows through my body like blood through my veins. And I am one with it. Now we can take our right hand to the left side of the neck. And here you can say, I am not guilty of anything. I remove all guilt from myself. Don't worry about specifics. Don't worry about the who, the what, the where, the when. But just expand this feeling of relieving yourself of any guilt. In the eyes of spirit, in the eyes of the divine, there is no right or wrong. The divine has no morality. Morality is in the eyes of humans. Morality is a part of our human world. In the realm of the divine, there is only action and reaction. Every action has a reaction. There's no good, nor bad, nor right, nor wrong. Okay, now we can take our right hand and place it on your forehead. And here you can say within, I forgive everyone. In the same way that I cannot be guilty, I must forgive others. In the same way that I make mistakes, I must see that others make mistakes too. Forgiveness does not mean that we condone behavior, nor that we allow toxic or harmful people into our lives, but it only means that within ourselves, we can find peace. So at this place, in order to enter meditation, you have to forgive. I forgive everyone, including myself. Now we can bring the hand to the back of the head. Lift your head towards the sky. Now, as I said before, there is no morality in the divine. There is morality in our society. That's important. But in the eyes of the divine, there is no right or wrong. There is only what moves you up and what brings you down. What takes you to your highest self and what takes you to a lower vibration. What helps you ascend and what drags you down. So here we say, Spirit, forgive me if I have brought my energy down in any way. Forgive me if I have done anything that works against my development, my growth, or the development of others and the growth of others. Forgive me. And we can take your hand, spread the fingers wide, press the palm at the top of the center of your head. Press the center of the palm. And you can just massage this space with your hand in a circle. Just go around in a circle. And then you can gently pat this space on your head, very gently. Oh, sorry. And then slowly lift your hand just a few inches above your head. And see if you can feel anything in this space between your hand and your head. And bring your right hand down. I'll take your left hand and see if you can feel anything in that space. And then take both of your hands and right above your head, tie 3 imaginary knots. So 1, 2, 3. And so just you're tying your awareness in this space above your head. So keep it there, bring your hands down, close your eyes, and focus all of your awareness and all of your attention at that space just above your head. And now, Mary, do you want to take over?
Yes. So keep your eyes closed. I want you to take one deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we're going to spend some time visualizing so we can have all our biggest dreams, our biggest goals, our biggest wishes to reach out to all of intelligence. Now, I want you to visualize tree trunks, and roots starting at the base of your spine. Extend your roots all the way down into the earth. You can hear it crackling, digging through the dirt with strength, reaching down farther and farther and farther. See those roots reaching out, going past all the dirt, and now it's grasping the core of the earth. And now you are secured in Mother Earth's nature, in her support, in her strength. And now we're going to imagine a white light hovering over your head. And you can feel the vibrations. It is warm. It is glowing just at the top of your crown. And let it remain there while we grow the energy from the roots all the way up to the heavens. In the area around your spine, this is your root chakra. This is where you feel safe and secure and supported, being in your body. I am safe in my body. I am supported by the materials, by resources, by all things physical, helping my body to thrive in this lifetime. And this is where money flows. Visualize red, spinning, red glow, and is being activated to support all your basic needs. And as it spins, you might feel heat. You might feel it vibrating. And it is now turned on. And now we're going to extend your attention 2 inches higher. And this area is just 2 inches below your belly button, where your sacral chakra is. Imagine an orange glow, and it is spinning. This is the area where there is joy, pleasure, creativity, sensuality, and sexuality is. Let it spin. Let it flow. I choose to see the joy in the smallest things. It is okay for me to rest and relax and to receive what makes me happy. I choose that path, and I deserve to be happy. And I choose to remain in an abundant state, because that is my nature. And I allow the flow, the floodgates of creativity to enter my sacral chakra. Let it glow, orange, bright. I feel joy. And since I don't depend on anyone to make me happy, my happiness can always be accessed from within. And that is my power. And now we're going to extend your attention right below your chest, above your belly button. This is the solar plexus chakra. And this is where people feel where they belong. And this is your place, your confidence, your purpose, your willpower lies. Visualize yellow, an orange glow growing brighter and brighter. It is spinning. It is connected to the root and the sacral. And this energy is now focused in the solar plexus. I choose to follow what makes me confident. I choose to believe in myself. You can believe in anything, and that also means yourself. I also allow others to believe in me. I have the right to be where I am today, right here, right now. I am activating the strength and the courage to pursue what makes me powerful. I am empowered. I can make a difference in this world. I choose to see that all of divinity supports me wherever I go. And although I may worry or stress, I choose to accept and forgive myself completely. Feel that area spinning, activating, connected to the earth, then your pleasure center. And now back to the yellow glow. You might even feel your spine circling, vibrating. Now we're going to take your attention up to your heart chakra. Imagine a green glow spinning. Breathe. Your heart works 24/7 without you ever having to focus on it. And this is how much love there is for your body. And your heart is always working for you. And this is where people are swayed, are inspired, are led to their passions. This is where unity lies. The connection to the physical in the non-physical world. Whatever you wish for right now, we're going to activate it in your heart. And remember, there are no limitations to what you can dream of. There are no limits. We're going to dissolve these limitations that only live in your head. You're an infinite being, more than your body, more than your mind, more than your name, more than your gender and your sexuality. Anything is infinite and anything is possible. Bring your awareness to your biggest dreams right now. Let it live. Let it thrive. Let it spin in your heart. It's growing stronger. And we are now activating the flow and the connection towards people who are coming into our lives and helping us fulfill our biggest wishes. Let that spin. That's right. Now, we're going to take your attention, rise it from your heart all the way up to your throat chakra. Visualize a blue glow is spinning. It's vibrating. You may want to take a deep breath. Let the energy rise to your throat. We're almost finished completing a rainbow. In your throat is the energy center of your voice, of your communication, of creative expression. I am heard and I am seen. This area is also connected to your ears, to the auditory. I am heard and I am seen. My voice holds great value. My voice is my power. Whatever I wish to express, I am free to express. Yes, that's it. Let it spin. And see yourself being heard. See yourself being listened to. It is a service to the world for you to speak your truth. I speak my truth. Let it spin. Whatever self-limiting beliefs you've had about your voice, we are dropping it. We are dissolving it. Eliminate it. That is not yours. I speak my truth. I can talk. I can sing. I can yell. I can express my passions however I please. That is healthy for me. Yes, let it spin. Now imagine that blue light reaching up to your third eye, the area between your eyebrows. It's now spinning. And it's purple. Let it spin brighter. Feel the tingles, very sensitive around this area. And this is your sight. More than just physical sight. This area is where you see the truth beyond your limitations, beyond boundaries, beyond illusion. Let it spin. I see the truth. And if I don't see it right now, I allow myself to see the truth now towards the future. And I have a superpower here. I can break my limiting beliefs here. Bring your awareness to your biggest dream right now. What do you see? Are you alone? Or are you around supportive friends and family? Imagine as if it already happened. Where are you? What are you doing? Are you doing what you're passionate about? And if not, you choose. Whatever you want, you can have. And that is the truth. And every step you take, the universe will take 1,000 more steps for you. You decide first what you want to see in your future. We're bringing it now into the present moment as if it already happened. And your role is just to step into that vision. And your vision that you have right now, the reason you have it is because it's possible. Remember, you are not limited. You are limitless. I choose to seize the support around me, and it's flowing towards me. Even if I don't see it right now, it's coming. It's being activated right now. And now send that energy, send your attention from your third eye to the top of your head. And we are revisiting the white glow. You can see hues of indigo and white mixing, spinning. Can you feel it growing bigger? Your entire body is being activated with your biggest dreams. And we are carrying that from the material world of Mother Earth all the way up to your connection to source energy or to whatever you believe in that holds the highest, most divine intelligence or consciousness. And you may feel that your room is getting lighter and brighter, and let that area spin. Remember, this is your connection to the Creator, and it's getting louder and stronger. And let it spin. That's it. Now we are going to send that energy all the way up to the sky. We're going to allow your creative energy, the divine force from the bottom of your spine to naturally rise. It'll know what to do. Now send that white light all the way up, reaching the heavens. And what's happening right now is that this white light is encompassing your entire body in a bubble of white light. Send it all the way out to your entire room. Now let that white light spin around your room. You know what it wants to do? It's going to expand because you are limitless. It is spreading outside of your house, of this building, reaching out to your street, reaching out to your neighborhood, farther into your area, your state, province, spreading out a white light, this white bubble of light, covering the entire city or town, reaching out to everyone that is in this space. Now let that white light reach out farther, miles and miles, out, covering the entire country. You can see it fast, growing bigger. You are in connection with everyone in this space. Now let that white light reach out to the entire country, encompassing it with your light, in your will, in your heart, in your biggest dreams. Now let your voice be heard. Let that white light encompass the entire continent that you reside in. Let your voice be heard. Now send this white light, encompassing entire regions, covering other continents, even reaching out to Europe, extending it to Africa, extending it to the Americas, to North and South, Antarctica and Australia. Now the entire globe is encompassed in your light. Let your voice be heard. And we are now connected to all of humanity. I am heard. I am to be seen, and I am heard. I hold of the biggest value of my place on earth. And we're now activating the connections that are going to come into your life, who will support you in your biggest dreams. And even though you don't see them now, they're coming towards you. Expect it. Your role is to prepare for them. And we are not done yet. We're going to imagine this white light reaching out to the stars. And let your voice be heard to all that is glowing, accessing all this vital energy, this life force energy that is flowing through your veins to the entire universe, reaching out to all the planets. Can you see it? If not, can you feel it? Now let the sun receive your biggest wishes. Let the sun illuminate. Get rid of all the illusions. Dissolve all those self-limiting beliefs. It is your duty to just be, to express yourself in a way that you want to. You don't have to follow the rules. Just because you exist, that is your purpose. And now, we are reaching that light all the way out to other dimensions, encompassing all of intelligence that is divine. And now we are accessing all infinite possibilities. That's it. Your voice is being heard across all dimensions, accessing the highest truth that'll serve you, accessing money, accessing joy, pleasure, happiness, willpower, and courage to be who you want to be without listening to any judgments, because those judgments are illusions. You are loved more than you know. And it is safe for you to be who you are. You don't have to focus on doing right now. Just be. And our voice is being heard. And now we're going to take that white light, all of that connection, back to our universe, to our galaxy, back to the sun, back to the stars. The planets have heard you. Take that white light back to the earth, to the sky. And you can see that white light returning back to you, back to earth, back to the animals and birds that roam the sky. They heard you. That white light is now being released from the other continents, returning back to your country, to your city, to your neighborhood, to your house or your building. You can feel that vital energy. Take it back to your room, back to your body. Take a deep breath in and out through the mouth. We're now allowing that flow of intelligence, of the divine support entering your DNA all the way down to every single cell. Now take that white light, just encompass it, just glowing above your head, and let it remain there. Now we're going to take our roots all the way back up to our body. Let go of that grasp, all the way up, 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 up to your spine. And release. Let go. You have been heard. Whatever energy that is divine and that is joyful, you can absorb it right now. And as we sit and relax, let go of the smallest drops of limiting beliefs that is left in your body. Give it to the light. It's not yours. Remember your power. You have been connected to every divine existence in all dimensions. I'm going to have you take 3 deep breaths to close this meditation. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just let go. You've been heard. And when you're ready to come back to your body, you can simply open your eyes. but we can sit for another minute and let yourselves absorb this transformation. Everybody's eyes are open. Okay. All right, how do you guys feel? Raymond? Oh, wait, we can't hear you. Just a second.
Yeah, Raymond, you're muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really resonated with the part about getting rid of self-limiting beliefs. And like to me, I feel like, of course, we have to work through a lot of things and it's a long process, but at the same time, it's a decision. So I feel at any point you can decide to let go of that. And I really feel that I had the power to actually let go of that because I felt for a long time I've just got used to distancing myself from, intrusive thoughts and just like your body because you get so much anxiety thinking like what's going to happen to my body, like your physical realm. Of course you have to care for it, but at the same time you're not the body, you're not these things, these self-limiting beliefs, these all of this. And just I don't know, just getting into the point where I can just going through each chakra and I feel like each system was validated. Like just even being able to speak, like because I feel like you can feel the tension in your body, you can feel the tension mentally of stifling your speech, stifling all these different aspects of you. And for that, like just to have each and every part of you validated and to separate yourself from anything that may be limiting you, that to me was I feel very a sense of relief, just like being able to feel it. I remember just like, I remember just feeling it in my body. It was this like sense of energy or sense of vibration. And so, yeah, I feel energized and I also feel a sense of relief.
That's so awesome. I'm so glad you felt that and you received the energy and you felt the energy. That is powerful. We took you all the way up to other dimensions, releasing those limitations. A lot of our limitations and our doubts, it's not ours. It can be passed from our family lineage, from society, from school. You didn't get an A, you're not good enough. Like, what? I am not a number. And you're more than that. And I had a process of a journey of realizing that as well. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm so glad that happened.
Thank you
Anyone
so
else
much,
want to share?
Mary. I really appreciated that. Like, I really did.
You're so welcome. Anyone else before we move on?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, I liked it a lot, and I love the visualization of like expanding that light. And I just want to say to Raymond, you know, like one of the themes that's been constant throughout this is like honor your body, honor yourself. I mean, even if you don't real like your chakras aren't spinning because of this meditation. Your heart isn't beating because of this meditation. Your heart beats because it was built to beat. Your body vibrates because it was built to vibrate. You are spiritual by nature, whether or not you see it, whether or not you recognize it. The mind is just a barrier to the reality. And the reality is you just are filled with light, you know, and it's just taking that time to pause and listen. You know, if you go sit out in a park, we're so filled with thoughts, you know. If you go sit out in a park and you listen, you'll hear the leaves rustling, you'll hear the birds chirping, you know, and the same thing in your body when you feel that energy. It's not because the meditation awakened an energy, it's that by sitting and bringing your awareness to the energy that's flowing through you always, you can tap into it, you know. So there's a life force flowing through us, but a lot of times we just place all of our awareness and our attention in our brain. We don't place it in the entire system. We have this whole entire system. So by going up and going through each of them, really what you just did is you just spent an hour tuning in to that energy that's always flowing through you. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? It is eternal, like even on a scientific level. So it's always been there. Right now, you just had a moment where you could feel it. And so, like, just honor the magic that you are. Honor that, like, you have been powerful your entire life since you were born. You know, you have light in you because it is born in you, you know, just like DNA is born in you. But what was not born in us were our thoughts, right? Like, those were created. And so that is like one of the themes. And you can do a million different types of meditation, but the most important thing is to just have some silence and sit with yourself and tune into this magical body that you have, right? We each have this body that when we stop and pause and have gratitude, like, wow, I am made up of billions of tiny little cells that are made up of billions of tiny little atoms, and they're all working together and they're all communicating. Like, that's the most magic. And our entire body, imagine if any part of our body had a self-limiting belief. Imagine if your heart was like, I don't think I can do my job today. Right? Or your stomach was like, I don't know, you know, me and the heart got into a fight, so you know what, I don't think I can really digest this food. Right? Like, so the beliefs, the self-limiting beliefs, they're the biggest illusions that we have. So thank you, Mary.
Of course. Now we have Lisa Miller, our first guest, and we're gonna wait for her to turn on her screen. She is a vibrational alchemy nurture coach. I've had 2 sessions with her when I was having really low points in my life, and she is a very powerful healer, and she's one of the people who I immediately feel a pressure around an area that she's been working on, like my brain tingling when she works on me. And she's helped me release a lot of blocks from my family lineage. So I'm grateful, and it's an honor to introduce you to this group right now, Lisa. I'll give it away to you now.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for this. This is amazing. I can't wait to go back and re-listen because I haven't been able to listen to all of it. And thank you, Brennan, as well. I don't know you, but thank you for organizing this, and thank you for being here. So I'll just quickly introduce myself. As Mary said, I've done healing probably about 10 years, really, but the last 6 years, vibrational alchemy has been a big focus of mine. And I'm also a coach, and I mainly work with mainly women, but some men, to step out of, like Brennan said, those points of views and using the brain. And the tools that I use come from the quantum field, which is what you were talking about too, Brennan, is actually the relationship we are as an energy and a being, and how that relates back to the field, and how we wire our reality. We wire our reality through our thoughts and our way of being, which then has something show up. And the work I've been doing with Mary is more on a body way, like touching her body and energetically shifting trauma and those entanglements that happen in the field. When an energy, a wave is entangled with another wave, we can actually untangle that. And that can be done in any time or reality or dimension. However, today I wanted to talk a little bit about gratitude, and more of a practical way about that, rather than just how it would work on the body. So on the body, I'd be shifting old patterns energetically that would stop you loving you and being kind to you. But today I want to give a few tips and strategies about how to do that day to day. So I see us as infinite beings with infinite knowing, infinite perceiving, and an infinite being. So we are a being first. And it's obviously all of you, we're all on the same page here. That's why we're here in this today. And that's why we've been listening to this stuff, because we all know that we're a being first. And as a being, I think our greatest capacity we have is for gratitude, joy, and that creation energy, that ability to create. And look what you guys have created. How amazing what you two have created, just out of an idea, out of a thought. So I think that's our three things: our capacity to be creating, to be in joy, and to have gratitude for ourselves and for what's around us. And I think our greatest superpowers and gifts come from what brings us the most joy. So what brings us joy is actually our greatest gift that we can share with others. But we often don't have gratitude or know what those things are. We're told how to be, how to act, what to do from very young. So often on a path, we're not congruent with what our gifts are and our knowing and our superpowers. And we're not congruent with true gratitude and bliss. And that is something that's trained out of us, like you said, Brennan. It's trained out of us from young. We don't come in with those thoughts that we're not good enough. We don't come in with those thoughts that we can't be grateful for us, but it's trained in us and programmed into us. And that's then held in the body too, as Mary was talking about. That pattern, that way of being becomes held in the body from any time, space, or dimension. So when you come into this planet, into this realm, you technically are coming into a reality where the energy and frequency is actually lower than our true being, what I know about our true being. So we are this high vibrational, expansive being, but we come into this realm as a baby and we have to drop that straight away. Well, that's what happens, isn't it? Our frequency drops, we contract in, and we become this more limited being. And so my work, whether it's with words, my coaching, Boss in My Backyard membership site, or whether it's on the body, is taking people back to being the being who is able to be truly grateful for them and have joy and bliss. Because I believe that is our true place to be on this earth, is to have joy and bliss. And whether that shows up running retreats for people, whether it shows up teaching someone guitar, doing acts of service, but that actually is when we're being joyful and blissful and grateful for us, then we can share that with the planet and we lift that frequency and vibration back up. So that's where I'm coming from when I'm talking about gratitude. So growing my gratitude, for me, gratitude is the highest frequency. It's up there with that pure joy and pure love. And the love that we get trained and programmed into in this reality is a love based on points of views. It's a love based on our brain. Oh, I loved him until he did that. I loved that, but then I didn't like it anymore. But he did that to me, or she said that. So a lot of the love we're trained in is conditional. And it's conditional on, if you're a good girl or you're a good boy, you'll be loved by your parents and they'll give you this. So if you do well at school, we will honor you and be grateful for you as long as you do this. So a lot of that love and that gratitude we're trained into is based on conditions. And that comes out of everyone's programming, and it comes out of their brains. And it's their conditioning. So our parents, our teachers, whoever that is, siblings even, whoever, has trained us in a way to be around gratitude that is based out of their limitations and their pasts. So my idea is to break away from the brain completely with gratitude, break out of the thinking pattern and get into the quantum field and actually bring gratitude in as an energy from the quantum field. And there's quite a few ways to do this. Number one, you can ask for it. We are a walking ask. We are a generative ask. So just by being us, our way of being is creating something. So if you look in the Bible, it says, ask and you shall receive, and that's actually truly who we are. An asking and a receiving, a gifting and a receiving being. And it's our right to be able to ask. But we actually are this ask without us even knowing. So we're walking around being a certain way, and what comes in is a match for that. Okay? But what we can do is we can constructively ask for something. We can ask for gratitude to actually show up, because it's an energy available to us, just like pure love and pure joy and pure peace and pure harmony. It's something available to us. So I ask every day, show me gratitude. Show me gratitude for me. Show me gratitude for whatever's going on in my life. And I think the key to gratitude is when you've smashed gratitude, you've really got it when you can be grateful for the tricky stuff. And 7 or 8 years ago, I had a massive time in my life with a lot of grief and loss. And when I could shift from the points of views and the judgments and the expectations and projections of what was going on in my life, and actually brought the energy of gratitude in, everything changed. Everything. Because no longer was I fighting and resisting that thing, but I could be grateful for whether I loved it or not. Okay? Because it's a higher frequency than that. I could be grateful for my ex-husband whether I loved him or not anymore. I could be grateful for my sick mother who was dying, even if she was dying, because the gratitude, that high frequency, allowed the space for me of pure peace. Even though it wasn't easy, I had peace with it. So to me, gratitude is just that energy that is the most, it shifts the most for me. When I bring that gratitude in, when I bring that energy in, it shifts the most. It moves obstacles out of the way. It creates miracles and magic. So just by asking, and you can journal this and write it down, show me. Now, if I have a particular problem I'm dealing with, and we all do, and of course, a problem is part of the brain and our old reality, but these triggers come up because if we were without a brain, we wouldn't have problems. We would just have something in front of us and we'd receive it and we'd allow it. And then we'd move and do the next thing we needed to do. But because we've got a brain, we turn it into a problem. So if you have anything or anyone in front of you, whether it's money or people, you can ask this question and journal about it. What is right about this? I haven't seen yet. If you can't see what's right yet, and we do have those tricky times, don't we? Really tricky times where we're like, I can't see the gift yet, but I know there's something here, and I'm someone that likes to come from that place, but I can't find it yet. What's right about this I haven't seen yet. So powerful, because this is for anything. It's for when your mother does die. Sorry, I mean, it sounds like it's not something to be grateful for, but you can find gratitude. I found the greatest gratitude in my mum's death was her peace, and she no longer had to suffer. And then from there, my grief became just the grief of losing her, not the other things that were holding me back, the anger and rage about her dying. Okay? I could just have gratitude, the fact that she was at peace. Another question you can ask is, what's the gift here I haven't seen yet? What is the gift here I haven't seen yet? And I'm telling you now, these things rewire the reticular activating system. Now that's the part of the brain at the base that filters. It filters everything. So it only brings in what you already know. So if you've already had a point of view that money's bad for you or money is hard, then the reticular activating system only brings in everything that shows you that money is hard. Everything that makes money hard. So you're going to have more bills. You're going to struggle with those bills, and if you've got money, you're going to have less money in the bank account. But when you ask a question, It rewires the reticular activating system and sorry, excuse me. It rewires the reticular activating system to start to look for something different. And when your brain starts to look for something different, what does it do? It rewires itself. It rewires your reticular activating system, and then it rewires what shows up. So I had a massive money issue for years. Just have a quick drink. Sorry about that. So I had a massive money issue for years, and what I did is I just kept asking, show me ease with money, show me magic with money. And of course I rewired my reality to now I never have those points of views. It doesn't matter if that takes 6 months, 6 hours, 6 years, but by asking, we're actually rewiring our reality. Because we know about the quantum field, we know our brain is like its own quantum field, and it's actually reacting and resisting and aligning and agreeing with everything energetically. And by doing so, it's bringing in stuff that isn't so cool. It's bringing in stuff that we wouldn't be grateful for. But by rewiring our brain, we actually start to rewire our reality, the quantum field, to bring in all the stuff to be grateful for. And even if it's crappy stuff showing up, you can still have gratitude for it if you start to look that way, if you start to rewire your brain that way. And this is not just the gratitude of the sky is blue and, you know, I've got some food in my fridge. This is for really tough stuff, guys, and it really works. And you can even use it as a journaling question. What would it take to have gratitude for this, which is a tough thing, and write it down and start writing. And after a while, you'll start to find those things that you're grateful for. Because for COVID, you know, there's things about this, and I don't take sides here. I'm staying very neutral with this, and there's a lot of stuff online. But with the COVID thing, there are massive things to be grateful for. And I'm not diminishing anyone's suffering or anyone who's in a situation, but there's massive things to be grateful for, because it slowed us down. It's given us a chance to have a look back at ourselves. And like you were doing here, the Insideology, it's given us a chance to look within and what are we creating? So gratitude has that capacity to have something in front of you that's really, really tough. I'm not saying it's not tough. However, if you have gratitude for it, the thing seems to just slip away. The problem with it seems to slip away, and you only focus on what's great. And then the problems go to the back of forefront of the brain, the back of the brain rather than forefront of the brain. And then you just keep rewiring your brain to bring more things in to be grateful for, because it's the law of creation. I see it rather than the law of attraction, because by our thoughts and way of being, we are creating. And then whatever comes back to us is something we've already created by an ask, an intention, a point of view, a subconscious pattern. So it's coming to us because we've already created it on some level. And here it is in front of us, and we've already created it, and we're often not an allowance of it. So we've created a big poo pie around money. We've got this money debt, and we've already created it for a way of being, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just that programming we had. But if we can be an allowance of what's there and grateful for it, then we can pull those little tethers of those entanglements that we've already created in the quantum field. We can start pulling at them, and we can start releasing the energy and the stresses and the expectations and judgments of ourselves around that thing or around us.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Brennan, go for it. I was just going to stop. I've been talking for a long time.
It's okay. Does everyone know what the quantum field is?
Okay, I'll explain that. Yeah, so the quantum field, basically, we are a field and we're in a field. So the quantum field is quantum mechanics. Okay, so in quantum mechanics or quantum physics, it's a field of potentiality and unlimited knowledge and unlimited knowing and unlimited potential and possibility. And it's energetic and it's universal, it's everywhere. But we are also our own quantum field. So we're interacting with this energy around us. If you see it like a sea of possibility, we're interacting with it. And we are just a tiny part of it. But like you said on lots of your other talks, we are connected. It's a collective connected consciousness. So we are feeding into this field, and this field is bringing back what we're asking for. It's bringing back our intentions, it's bringing back our thoughts, and it's bringing back our way of being. So we're interacting all the time, in every second and every moment, even when we're asleep. And what we are is we're a wave, and it becomes a particle as it becomes solid. Now that mechanical stuff is a little bit trickier, but basically when two things come together, like we've created it, it's called a quantum entanglement. So when you have that amazing moment where you meet that person that you've always been asking for in your life, whether it's a friend or a relationship, that's an entanglement, okay? But we also entangle with the stuff that we're not grateful for. And then we create these stories and these ways of being, and we create more of the story around, oh, there's something wrong here. So when we bring the gratitude in to that entanglement, which might not necessarily be a so-called positive thing, we are like unwiring it and untangling that. Does that make sense, Brennan?
Yeah, I understand quantum, and so I just want to be careful because I'm not sure if everyone understands. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to add too, like, I think you can think that where most of science looks at what is measurable, quantum mechanics looks at what is immeasurable. So where, like Mary, we kind of expanding to the universe, quantum would be looking to the smallest particle. So if you were to go into your cells and then go deeper into the cells and go into the atoms and then go into the subatomic particles, you know, where there's like, it goes infinitely and infinitely and infinitely smaller. And so at a certain point, there's just waves of energy, right? Like we're talking at the atomic level. So quantum physicists, they haven't been able to observe the quantum reality, but through mathematical equations, they know it exists. So basically every single part of this universe is literally like a wave. So like, and then those waves make your atoms, which make your molecules, which make your cells. And so quantum entanglement is not like a foo-foo-la-la, I love that word, idea. It's literally a huge breakthrough in science. Quantum entanglement is not something that the hippies came up with. Like people might call us hippies. You know, like it's literally, these are all quantum physical theories that quantum physicists have come up with. And they found that particles light years away from each other, if they've interacted with each other from any time since the Big Bang in the universe, they can still affect each other from across space and time, right? So when we come into contact with people and with things and then we leave them, we are like entangled, you know, and no matter where we go in life, we can still like affect each other. And so the thoughts that we have as well also like fit into that theory.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Brennan. I should have probably explained more of that at the beginning, but I guessed you guys knew what it was. But basically, like you said, it is that entanglement is actually what we're creating all the time, right? And there's some entanglements that come from being with a certain family or having certain relationships. So when you look at gratitude, that energy comes in and it plays with that entanglement. So no longer are you entangled with that problem or that thing in a way that doesn't actually contribute to you. You've got an energy and a way of being and a thought pattern with it that has it as a contribution rather than a problem. So gratitude will change anything from a problem and turn it into a possibility. And that's how I shifted my whole life. I had no money, nowhere to live. My mum was sick and dying. I had no credit and I had to look after 2 kids. And that's how I shifted my life basically, was bringing in the gratitude. And that's what I do on a body as well. I will shift that entanglement energetically. But you can actually just do practical things every day that will bring the gratitude in. And those questions are really, really powerful. And you never answer them, really. You let it do its thing and you let the universe and your own deep knowing and what's happening out in the field come back and provide a shift or an answer that you could never have. And sometimes the answer is not what you thought. and it comes back and you go, oh, that's what I need to do to have gratitude here. And it's often not what you think, because if it was, it would be the old Lisa and the old patterns. It'd be the old Lisa going down the same old synaptic pathway. So questions get us into surprise and delight. And we want to be surprised. We don't want to have the same old, well, that's always the way my dad is. Oh, this is the way I do gratitude. We don't want that. We actually want to be surprised and delighted by what shows up. And these tools will do that, asking questions and journaling, and those things will actually do that. And it's about the law of allowance for me. The law of allowance is allowing what is there in front of you to be what it is, without judgment. And that's the hardest thing, I think, for all of us, is not to judge what's in front of us. I call it the law of allowance. So as soon as we judge something, we've gone back in our brain. We're no longer in our deep knowing. We're no longer in our heart. We're no longer interacting with the quantum field in a way that's contributive. We've gone back into our brain. So yeah, it's finding those places and spaces to be with people and things that create more things to be grateful for showing up. Does that make sense, everyone? Any other questions? Yeah.
Sorry, you said so many great things that I just was like, oh my God, that is so good. And like, you kind of moved me to tears a little bit, and you're talking about how gratitude transformed your life. And I was in a really dark place here for 3 years in Vietnam, and you talked about how, like, when you do what you love and what brings you joy, that's the most powerful thing. And so meeting Miss Miracles with Mary, we had this like magical time together, and doing this event gives me so much joy, and I haven't done anything like this in years. And I just feel alive again, you know, like this is what I'm passionate about. And so it just reminded me of like the power of being grateful. I also really like that you call it the law of creation rather the law of attraction, because attraction supposes that like things are outside and they come in, whereas creation is things are inside and they go out. And so I really love how you reframe that, and like I love the subtlety in that language. And I just wanted to add to what you were just saying. Oh wait, I had the thought and then I lost it, and my brain is like fried at this point.
It must be. You've done so much work. Yeah.
What were you just saying right now at the end?
I was just, you know, when you're talking about the creation thing, it so is, because we are the walking, talking, creative being, aren't we? We are creating it, and we can uncreate it. So if we created poop eyes, we can uncreate them. And gratitude to me is the quickest way to do it. And asking questions, quickest way.
You said you said to see something and not judge it. What did you say?
The law of allowance, to allow what is. To allow what is and what isn't.
Okay, because Mary and I had this talk yesterday about morality. And I said, the divine has no morality.
No.
We create morality. But
that's right.
I said there's only rhythm. There's only momentum. So there's only what lifts you, what moves you forward, and then what pulls you down, what pulls you back. But there's no good or bad. How we judge things as good or bad is from our mental lens. But the universe doesn't say like killing people is bad, because it could easily throw a comment at us and we'd all die. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
So morality very much serves a purpose in our human society. And I don't think you were here at the beginning of the meditation, but in the meditation, I was like letting go of your ideas of like having guilt comes from your ideas of what is right or wrong. But when you just observe something as it is without giving it a moral judgment, then you open yourself to the infinite possibility that all things are powerful, right? Like if you believe that the universe is all powerful, and you know there can be no negative, right? Like everything has power in it.
Yeah,
So I
so
really
for
like
me,
a lot of this that we talked about.
oh, cool. For me, the law of allowance is pure, is truly where I'm attempting to be in every second, and I'm not always there, Brennan. So you're right, good or bad, right and wrong, they are all points of views from the brain. And when you're in pure gratitude, you are in allowance of what is there and what isn't there. What is and what isn't. Like, oh, I don't have enough money. There isn't. Oh, I do. You know, all of that. And for me with COVID, I saw so much polarity online. You know, the polarity of, you know, it's fake, and then the other stuff, that I just went into my zone of neutrality and gratitude for what was. Because if I resist it and react to it, then I make myself sicker. And I'm not necessarily talking about sick with COVID, but I drop my immunity, I drop my capacity to have joy and bliss and gratitude. And that is not contributing to the planet at all. So I stayed in neutrality, and I did my best to do that 90% of the time. I stayed in neutrality, and I asked, what do I know? And what am I aware of? And who can I be? And what can I be grateful for? And that's what I did the whole time. Because the law of allowance then supposes that we are not creating more entanglements that create this planet's energy to drop, the vibration and frequency to drop. So everyone who's fighting either sides of that argument, they're not having gratitude for the other side, and they're not allowing what is to be is. And I get it. I get why we get pulled, because it's the brain. However, we are not our brains. We're an infinite being with infinite knowing. So gratitude at the moment is huge. If we can bring that to all of this right now, we can shift what's on the planet. But not by changing what is, but by being a new reality that we create with ourselves. As you said, Brennan, we're creating it. So if we can be that, then we are shifting the planet in our own little way. And that's how I live my life.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That was
Oh.
so, like, there's a lot of knowledge. Like, even with sessions with you, when I said law of attraction, you're like, law of creation. I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. Because even when I ask
Yeah.
people, like, do you know what law of attraction is? They're like, you mean like how you attract another person? And I'm like, no, like.
Yeah. And it is just a word, isn't it? But I feel creation for me is a more expansive way of saying it. And there's so many points of views about attraction and how to attract online. You know, you just see all the time, this is how you attract things, this is how you isn't, it's how you don't, sorry. But when you go into law of creation, it supposes it's an inside job.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is what you guys are talking about all the time. It's an inside job rather than I attract it and it's someone's fault outside of me why it hasn't shown up.
Yeah. So gratitude, what Lisa was saying, has changed my life as well, because gratitude is a high vibrational emotion. And what I mean by that is that it is powerful. When you already act like you are living the life of your dreams, you're answering your own prayers. You act as if it are already happened. I've manifested my purpose, my career, more financial success from acting as if it already happened. And I create a lot of videos on tools on how to do that. So gratitude is so powerful. You are attractive of similar energy. So you attract that experience. And what she said about, like, I don't know the word, the brain, it activates
the synaptic pathways that get rewired. Is that what the reticular activating system. Yeah, what you've done, Mary, is you've rewired it to bring in all the miracles. You've rewired it. That's what you've done, and you've done it yourself. Yeah. And that's why it's a creation. You did it. Okay, so you might have borrowed a tool from me or someone else, but you did it, girl. You rewired your reality to create more magic. And I have magic and miracles showing up every day. And that's what we want, because our brain will not bring you magic. It brings you the old crap over and over and over and over all the time. So we need to get out of that and into, like you're doing, the stuff that you guys have been talking about, the meditation or whatever that is, however that works for you, and the gratitude and the joy and the bliss that will bring and rewire more things to be grateful for. And that's what you've done, Mary. So well done to you. How phenomenal. Wow. And you, Brennan, too, by doing this, you guys have changed your whole lives and you're changing the planet. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm really grateful.
Just one last thing I wanted to add is, like, it's so in alignment with everything we've talked about with like Insideology, and a lot of my inspiration is like I've been teaching meditation now for 11 years, and I really feel that people place so much power outside of themselves. You know, they're like looking and reading and going, and like that is so important. But when you say like the law of creation, that really shows that like you are the source. You are the source, and your body and your instrument is so intelligent and it's so wise, and there's so much wisdom in this body. Like even just when you're talking about the reticulating, the reticular activating system, like, you know, this is psychology stuff. You know, this is the brain. These are real things in our body. So the body knows, right? The body
Yeah.
knows when it's time to start growing your bones. The body knows when you're sleeping, and what like systems to turn on. So there is this intelligence that is inherent inside of our bodies, but we always look for spiritual intelligence outside. And I think people get so caught up in looking but never sit with what they found, you know? And so
Yeah.
Insideology was so important to me, to be like, be with yourself, sit and expand your awareness, and stop giving that power to other people. You know, don't think that spirituality exists in that temple and only exists on that mountaintop. You know, like it exists within you, and you can access it at any time. So what law of creation, like I'm going to start saying that, because it says that you yourself are the source of your reality, and it frees you from all of the ways that your outer reality may oppress you or may block you, right? Because it shows that like you are the creator and you have the power. And so it doesn't matter what people do or don't do, or you know what has been done or will be done outside of you. What only matters is what you do. And so it's just like all perfectly in alignment. So I love that.
Yeah, I so agree. And I think it's Dalai Lama. I could be wrong, but he says about suffering, you know, as soon as we give up suffering, our life shifts, and the suffering it's self-imposed. And that's where gratitude will come. And it doesn't matter what you're suffering in that moment. If you bring gratitude in, you will drop some percentage of that suffering and create more happiness and joy. And I'm about that on the planet, bringing people to a level of self-love, self-gratitude, self-worth, and self-trust, that they get out of all the old patterns. And then we're together collectively shifting the planet to a kinder, more nurturing place. So that's why I do what I do. So thank you for letting me come on here. But I just want to say, if anyone wants a tool for growing your gratitude, come to networknurture.info. So it's network, NETWORK, network. I can type it in the chat. And there's a downloadable PDF that you can start using to start journaling around gifting and around gratitude. Okay, so if you go to www.networknurture.info, there's a free, really cool PDF on there, and there's other videos and things. And yeah, come and grab the PDF. And journaling is an amazingly fast way to shift your brain pattern, which then shifts your reality, because of course we're creating it from our reality, from our brain. So journaling is an incredibly fast way to shift it. If you don't have any other tools, just get a pen out, start writing. So they've got a little prompt on there. Come and try it, have a go, and I'd love to hear back from you how it's going. Reach out. Find me on Facebook. It's actually Lisa F. Miller on Facebook under Network Nurture. And yeah, reach out. I'd love to hear your experiences with gratitude and creating your life. So thank you for having me on here, Mary and Brennan, and everyone for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It kind of went into a philosophical discussion.
Yes. As it does, sorry.
It's all good. It is enriching to the soul. So just one last thing with Lisa before we transition to Steph. If you are ever feeling like you need to disconnect from something like a block, or that you're like, you feel like you're suffering from, I would go to Lisa, because I've had triggers, and I'm just like, I don't think anyone's gonna understand what I'm going through. I feel like I'm in a dark place, so I contact Lisa, and she like straightens out my connections and my entanglements, and she's a very powerful healer. So one last thing is she just typed in networknurture.info. So thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing. And now we're going to move on to Steph.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Mary, for saying that. And I love that you come to me. I really appreciate you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Okay. So now we have Stephanie Novotna. She is a women's empowerment coach. She's a retreat leader. She's led retreats across the world, and she helps people with understanding the masculine and feminine within. And so I'm going to pass it on to Steph to introduce herself furthermore and to start the workshop. It's unmuted.
Got it. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. I'm Stephanie. I live in Hoi An, which is in Vietnam. I'm here since 5.5 years, but I've been also traveling while I was living in Vietnam throughout Asia. And so, well, my spiritual path started a long time ago, I guess, when I was a child or a teenager. But especially the last 2 years, I had big spiritual awakenings, and this was when I started to understand more about the masculine and the feminine polarities within ourselves. So this is what I want to talk about today, and what I want to make very clear, that what I'm talking about is the energy within ourselves. So it has nothing to do if you are a woman or a man. I'm talking about the polarities, the yin and yang polarities within ourselves, and why it is so important to actually understand about those polarities. So I want to first talk also about the current situation or the current state of the world. You are all probably very sensitive beings, or most of you are probably empaths, otherwise you wouldn't be here on this retreat. So for people like us, it can be very confusing nowadays to live in this world, because we live in a patriarchy. So it means that the world and the society we are living in, the educational system, and the way how we live, how we love, how we eat, how we communicate with each other, everything comes from a very masculine dominated energy. And I will now explain what is the masculine energy. It doesn't have to do with men and women, but it's the energy and it's the energy behind that. Okay, so the masculine energy, or the yang, so when you look at the yin and the yang, you have the yang, which is the white color, and this is the masculine energy. And the masculine energy, these are aspects like the clarity which we have the focus, we have the willpower, so everything what comes from our mind. And it's our ego as well, which is important to survive as a human being. We need our ego. And it's the logical thinking, the rational thinking is also to be determined, so to have a goal and to go to this goal with clarity and strength and willpower. So these are all very important aspects which we need in our daily life. But at the same time, we have also the feminine aspects, which is the yin in the yin and yang. And the yin is the black color, because the yin is correlated to the night, to the moon, whereas the yang is correlated to the sun, to the illumination, so the day. That's why we have the night and the day. So the yin is the darkness, and this represents the feminine polarity, which we have also inside of ours. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. And the feminine polarity is connected to your aspects of being emotional, so being connected to your heart center, expressing your emotions, being in the flow of life, so not being too much in your mind and in your head, but actually being in the flow and allowing to receive as well. Whereas the masculine energy is more of a controlling energy, the feminine energy is being receptive and in the flow. it's also the energy of creativity. So any kind of art. So if you use your voice for singing, for poetry, for expression, for talking, if you want to write something, if you want to create art through drawings, paintings, make music, or whatever creative expression it is. So these are all feminine aspects which are within ourselves. And so, as I already stated, that nowadays the way we are brought up in our society and through our parents and through school, and you know, we go to school, we go to college, and we start to go to university, and then we have jobs, and everything is very the way we do it is in a very masculine way. So masculine is a lot of competition and there is a lot of challenge, whereas the way how to get more in touch with a natural flow of how the things could evolve naturally, and also bringing more the playfulness in and bringing more our emotions in, and actually our soul, our being, this is left out. And this is why so many people now start to question the system and start to question the way how things are functioning. And I also see a lot in my work that we are struggling as men or as women. We are struggling with being identified with mostly this masculine dominated world and this energy. So I went through my own healing when I moved actually from Germany, where I had 3 jobs at the same time, and I was working all day, every day, 7 days a week. And I thought, and this is what people were teaching me, and basically people get taught, they get taught this, I would say almost around the whole globe, that you have to be productive. You have to be productive to be someone and to get to be accepted. And so you are constantly in this challenge of doing, whereas the feminine principle is actually resting and allowing. And I think this is what is really what our soul is yearning for, what our soul wants, that we come back into a place more of allowance. And when we come back into that place of more of resting and allowing, then we are also more connected to the source within ourselves. You can call it the source of God, the source of creation, or your own source from within yourself. But this can only happen when you are when you can rest your mind. So where this is more the masculine energy, to use our mind. But we are 99.9% of the day only in our mind. But we need to drop that and come back again into our hearts and also in our bodies, what is the feminine. So I hope it got a little bit more clear. And what's also interesting when you look at, we talked about physics and quantum physics, and yeah, if you look at chemistry, you know, we have the atoms, and you know that all of our reality of our world is based on chemistry and atoms. And within an atom you have an electron and a proton. So again, you have the 2 poles, you have the polarity, right? And only because of those 2 poles, the energy can actually flow. Without those 2 poles, there could be no energy circulating. So we need those 2 polarities in order to experience this 3-dimensional world we are living in. So it's not only outside of us, of course, we have it also inside of us, this yin and yang, okay? So these are energies which are always flowing through us. But now what is the rub is that we are mostly identified with our masculine energies within ourselves. So to come more into a harmony within ourselves and into more inner peace, it's important that we as humanity identify again more and more with this feminine aspect. If you don't like the word feminine, you can call it with your yin aspect, or with your inner receptivity, with your emotions being in the flow of life, and with your allowance as well. And also what I would like to share is that some people who are on this path, they have this impossible vision or dream that they want to come to this place of always being in your balance, in your inner balance. But in my point of view, and with all the people I have talked to, there is basically never such a state of being in a balance forever, because life is always flowing. So also when you look at the yin and yang symbol, you know, it is curved. So it's like always flowing. The white side is flowing into the dark side, and then the dark side again is flowing into the white side. So it's always basically flowing from one side to the other. And it's never a stagnant balance. It's always in the flow. So I want to encourage you to get more aware of what are my masculine energies within myself, what are my yang qualities, and what are my feminine energies within myself, my yin qualities. And what can I do in my life to maybe drop a little bit more into my yin energies, the feminine, where I can get more creative. I can start to journal more. I can start to make more art. I can start to connect more to the trees, to the nature. I can start to connect more with my heart. I can start to connect more with my emotions. And so you can actually play with these energies. And as I said, it's not stagnant. You know, we are playing. Sometimes you have days where you are more in your masculine because you need to get this project done. And some days you just want to rest and be receptive and not to do anything, because doing is the masculine. And allowing and being in the flow and receiving and being receptive is the feminine, okay? So we need to drop that thought from which is imprinted from society on us, that we constantly need to do, because like this we can, I don't believe that it's possible to find inner peace and balance if we're constantly doing. And so yeah, I really encourage you to look within yourselves. What can you do for yourself to nourish more these feminine aspects, the feminine, the yin energies, and also find a creative outlet. Sorry?
Can people hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
I was going to ask, so what are some suggestions that you'd give for us to like tap more into that feminine energy?
Mm-hmm. So first of all, having the awareness, okay, that there are those two polarities within myself. And as I said, it doesn't matter if you're man, woman, or however you identify yourself. There are those two polarities. And no polarity is better or worse. I also want that to be very clear. We just need to have first the awareness that there are those two polarities. And when I have the awareness, I can then identify, wow, okay, I'm basically 80%, 90% of my time more in my masculine. So now I want to get more into the receptive side through allowing myself to actually just sit for half a day, do nothing, and just channel this creative source or this creative energy and make art. Maybe you want to make art through drawings or through paintings, or you want to maybe sing a song, or you want to learn how to play the guitar, or you want to start to write poetry, or you want to start to connect with nature. Go for a walk and start to listen to the trees, what the trees have to tell you. What does the ocean have to tell you? The bird which is sitting right there, it's not sitting there just because it has a reason why it's sitting there, and it has a reason why it's singing a song. So this bird has to deliver you a message through its song. So being connected more to this receptivity of your feminine then also allows you to actually, it will open up many different doors. So you get more aware of your surroundings and more receptive for your surroundings. So always coming back to this place of nourishing your creativity and being in touch with your emotions. And I know this might be difficult for many people, how to reconnect actually with their emotions, but there are so many beautiful healing tools nowadays. I think what you can do by yourself, alone at home, without going to a retreat or to a healer or whatever, is to meditate and to really look deeply inside of yourself and ask the question, who am I? Who am I? And when you ask yourself this question again and again and again, and maybe the first time nothing will come, you say, I don't know who I am. But maybe when you ask a question yourself 5, 10, 15, 20 times, suddenly you will start to channel these things like, wow, I am actually the water, and I am the fire, and I am the rocks, and I am the trees, and I am everything, and I am nothing, and I am God, and I am human, and I am man, and I am woman, and all of these things, you know. So this is the feminine, the feeling, the embodiment, and we need to get back into this energy of embodiment, our bodies. This is the material, you know, the material world. This is the feminine, and whereas the masculine is more in being always occupied in our minds. So coming back actually to a place of feeling. So I think just starting with a meditation practice, a daily meditation practice, and train, or no, not train, what is the right word? Yeah, to have a daily exercise or routine to stop the chatter of your mind and really drop into your body and connect to your feelings. But of course, you know, this is not done within one day. It's a process, and it's a lifelong process. I don't have to tell you, we are all on a journey, and this journey starts with our birth and goes on for who knows how long. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wanted to add, I think one of the most powerful ways to tap into this energy is called Sahaja Yoga, if you guys have ever heard of it. And it's the type of meditation that I've done for years, and what I love about it is like it's so focused on the divine feminine and awakening the divine feminine within us, but it shows that our body actually has 3 channels. We have like the right channel, which is given to us by our father, and it is the masculine aspect within us, and then the left channel, which is where our heart is, which is given to us by our mother. And then in the center channel, we have the present. And so we're often like on a pendulum that swings between the right and the left.
Right.
And so there are some really simple techniques that I don't have the time to show you, but if you're interested in like learning about it and balancing it out, like Sahaja Yoga is a really powerful. They have free meditation centers all around the world. It's what I use in my personal practice as a healer as well. I use some of the materials. Unfortunately, Sahaja Yoga as a movement, as a religion, like the followers are homophobic, and I'm a gay man, so unfortunately I don't like represent them, nor do I represent the movement. However, I can say that the power of this practice is very beautiful way to like feel the actual physical manifestation of your masculine and feminine. So like Steph was saying, the rest and digest is feminine, whereas acting and doing is like more masculine. But within our nervous system, we have the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic. And so the parasympathetic is after we eat, it's what digests. It's when we sleep, when we're relaxing, when we're doing art, when we're in nature, our parasympathetic is active, and that is rest and digest. The sympathetic is fight or flight, and that is usually active when we are working, when we're exercising, when we're putting a lot of activity. So our body switches between these modes. In fight or flight, it's creating cortisol, it's creating adrenaline, norepinephrine, all of these different hormones that are designed for us to be running, out in a field away from something that is attacking us. And we don't know how to turn it off because this masculine society, this patriarchal, misogynistic society tells us that doing those things, taking care of ourselves, sitting, doing art, taking a walk, they have no value, right? They're not important. They don't make any money. It's a waste of time, but what they forget is that the more we take that time, the better and more productive we can be when we come back to work, and so it's just so important. I think there are 3 gay men here on this, and I think all of us are unique in that, when we come from hyper-masculine societies like the United States or Russia, and hyper-masculine communities, like I come from the Black community in the United States, and they punish you as a boy if you have any femininity in you. Don't be a little bitch, don't be soft.
you know, because, you know, us little gay boys, you know, we like to dance around and we like to, you know, we like the girly things, and we tend to be artists and we tend to be more sensitive. And so it's really unfortunate that this society punishes things feminine. And so it's not just that women are punished, it's that everyone suffers when we don't, you know, everyone suffers because we all have femininity within us. We were all born from a mom,
Exactly.
right? And so if we're in this society that punishes all things feminine, we all suffer. So the more we do that work, the better we, like, just everyone can be, you know, because everyone needs to be an artist. Everyone needs to create. Everyone needs to rest and recuperate. And I know that Germany is like really crazy, like about, like, they're so strict in their, and like work culture. Like in Germany, you cannot break a single rule. Like if the bus stops there and you wait here, that bus will not pull up. It's like,
No.
you need to walk and get on here, you know? So they do have, like in Sahaja Yoga, they say like each country has a chakra, and each country has like, is either like a masculine or a feminine country. And we are like, okay, Germany is like super, super masculine.
For
you know,
sure.
so it totally makes sense.
For sure. Yeah. I also want to share with you a nice metaphor how to see the masculine and the feminine energies within ourselves. So if you see a river and the river banks, okay, so you can imagine the river banks, which gives the water the structure. This is the masculine, because it gives it a structure, it gives it a destination, kind of a purpose, you know, and it gives it a goal. Okay, it goes over there. Now imagine the water would have no riverbanks, and it would just go like more, and it would have no direction. But now imagine riverbanks without the water. It would be just a fucking desert, and there would be no life, no greens, no flowers, nothing. It would be just dry, and there would be no joy in life, you know. So this is actually what keeps us alive, this feminine energy. This is our creativity. This is the sparkle, being in the flow of life. So we really need to connect to that. And I agree with you that, yeah, our society just really kills all of that. But we are making the change, you know, through our awareness and through talking about it, and also bringing it out there in the world. I see that there is a big change happening right now. So yeah, this is why we need both of these polarities. You can also see it, for example, when you have a painting. Okay, so you have a white canvas without all of its colors, and the art is just a boring white canvas, but you need it to create actually the painting and to create your art. So it gives, again, the structure and the framework. So this is the masculine. This is our mind. This is how to use our mind with a purpose. But then also the painting itself, the art, this is more the feminine energy, which is like crazy and all over the place, and you have all these beautiful colors and you mix them, but you need this ground, this underground, the canvas, to create this. Yeah,
Yes.
just to make it a little bit more visual. Very welcome.
Yes, thank you for explaining like masculine and feminine, and it's not just a man or just a woman that's like limited to the physical world, and how like the union of masculine and feminine, which we all have, there's a big theme that's been going on, is balance. And also, I've mentioned this 2 times already, like studying natural medicine, the goal of natural medicine is to rebalance your body, or homeostasis, which is just balance when there's changing environments. So if you're actually in balance, it's harder to develop disease. You live longer and your body heals itself when you're in balance. So that's what we've been doing. And so with the masculine and feminine working together, you can create miracles from this. It's like more like better mental health as well, as she explained. Does anybody else want to add anything to masculinity, femininity? Raymond?
We don't hear you.
Unmute.
We don't hear you, Raymond.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just listening right now, just absorbing everything. Um, I do like, I agree, just like what you said, like just now, Mary, about balance and just having a balance. I was just contemplating that, just having a balanced, just about how, a balanced way that you live your life. Because if you're always rushing ahead, you'll never really heal. You'll never really process what's happening to you. And if you are too passive, then you'll become lethargic and you'll be like, you just accept anything. So
Exactly.
it's just like being censored. But like you said, we may have to overcompensate and connect more with the feminine just because society is geared toward the masculine. Society doesn't necessarily celebrate the feminine energy as much. And that's probably why it's so off balance. That's why we have climate change.
Right.
That's why we have all these negative things in the world. Um, so I was just contemplating that. Just in my own life too, I feel like I feel like I don't necessarily know how to connect it in terms of masculine and feminine. I don't think I can really, just for myself, it's hard to imagine like that. I feel like you said, it's intertwined. Everybody has both. So I don't necessarily know where the masculine part ends and where the feminine part begins in order to try to see where I lie and having a balanced view of both sides or implementing them in a balanced way. But I will try to, just meditate, continue to look in, continue to ask myself those questions like, who am I? And that all seems like it's going to be really helpful. So even if I can't necessarily see where masculine ends and feminine begins, it's kind of like that practice is going to induce it either way, induce a balance either way.
It's like, it's a dance, right? Like, the equilibrium that you need today is different than the equilibrium that you need tomorrow. Today, I'm done with this event, so I'm about to be feminine and go relax. But 2 days ago, I needed to be very masculine, I needed to be working hard. And so it's just knowing, like Stephanie said, like, it's constantly flowing, you never reach a point where, and so nothing in life is ever still, right? Nothing in this world is ever truly still. There's always movement. Every day, the sun is changing its angle in the sky, and sooner or later, it's going to be winter. And so I think what it's about is it's about really engaging with that dance, really dancing with it. It's like a dance between two partners, right? If one swings one way, the other has to react, and the momentum is constantly moving, And so it's just always being engaged with that reflection. There's never going to be a point where it's all going to reveal itself and it's all going to make sense. But the seeking of it constantly is really what, like, just the always sitting with yourself, like Stephanie was saying, and meditating every day and saying, okay, where's my equilibrium today, right? Where is it right now? Where does it need to be? Am I being too relaxed? Can I have some more drive and more organization? Or am I just being too hardcore about how I think about things? Am I being too rigid? Am I being too, and can I inject some softness in it, So it's more the insideology, because ology means the study of, and inside, the study of your inside. Stephanie cannot give Raymond the answer of where Raymond's equilibrium lies. Only Raymond can know where his equilibrium lies. So what you have to do is you have to treat it like brushing your teeth. You've got to, like, listen, where is my equilibrium? Where is my energy taking me, and where does it need to be? Because no one can answer that for you. You know, no one can really give that to you. Sure, I can feel your energy. We can do 7 sessions and I can be like, yo, your energy, you got to balance it in this way. You know what I'm saying? But then what? When I'm done, right? Like, you go home and you sit with yourself, right? And just know that it's like, it's fluid, like a river, right? Like you're like a vessel in a river, and there are times when the river's going this way and then it's going this way. And there's times where it narrows and times where it widens, right? So I would say the best thing is to just dive deep into the dance of it. Dive deep into the need to always be questioning, where's my equilibrium at this time, right? Like living in Vietnam, we have a different equilibrium. We just do, right? Like, there's a different equilibrium here. And so living in Germany, living in America, living in New York versus living in Mobile, Alabama, you know, there's a different equilibrium wherever you go. And so you're always going to have that self-awareness to adjust to, like, even the masculine and feminine energies outside of you that are pressuring you, right?
Yeah, Mary.
I'm gonna give it to Steph.
Thank you for your feedback, Raymond. I also want to make it maybe more clear with an example. If you have a new idea and a project and you are on fire to get this project out there, and you do all your marketing and you are, whatever your work is, you know, you put all your energy into it and you're working for weeks from morning until evening, this is your masculine, and you need it because we live in this world where we need to make money and we need to get shit done, and this is just a 3-dimensional world where we live, where we have these 2 polarities, and we need to sometimes drop more into our masculine energy to get shit done. But then we need awareness to allow ourselves to drop back into more of a state of receptivity and allowance, letting go of our mind and of this focus and willpower and strength, and just relax and get back more into the state of receptivity. And this can be through it can be through going for a dance, or just putting on a song at home and start to move your body. So this is the feminine, where you don't use your mind, you don't use your thoughts. You're using basically your emotions and your body, your feelings. This is the feminine. So any way how you can connect to your feelings and to your body. So it can be any kind of movement, any kind of creating art, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
So I like to reference things to law of attraction. I learned about the masculine, feminine side to it. So if you have an idea, that's a seed. It's masculine. You know, I'm referring to the seed. And if your mind and your heart receives it well, that's a feminine. The feminine is like, ooh, I like that. That gives me joy. That gives me pleasure, happiness. And then you take action and create. Actually, I feel like creation is it's a dance. It's feminine and masculine because you're doing, but also you're inspired. Sure. I've learned from Brennan that, like, gravity is masculine and, like, holds us down. Masculine is what holds things. It push, like doing, like Steph and Brennan said. And feminine is like attract. It's like
feminine is like desire and masculine is action. Yeah. And so like you can't, like, you have to have both, because your action might not be connected to your true desire if you're not connected to it, right? And so it's about going back into the left side, like I was saying, like in the subtle system, we have the left, the feminine side, which is like your reflection, what you desire, what makes you feel good. Like Lisa was saying, like the most powerful thing that we can do is what is in alignment with what makes us good, what gives us joy. Side is how we feel joy, and the masculine side is how do we create, how do we build, like, you know, build something with what gives us joy. So if we're overbalanced with the masculine and we're just working and working, but it's not connected to our heart, what we create has much less power, right? So the feminine, the divine feminine, is, in Sanskrit, it's called Shakti, and Shakti means power, right? So you can have a cell phone. The masculine would be all of the components and the parts. The feminine would be the data. If I don't have data, it has no power. I cannot connect to anything. It's just this physical thing, right? So the feminine is the Shakti behind everything. It's what gives it power.
The
when
life force.
Mary and I create Insideology, and we create it with love, that's feminine. We have love. We started with a feeling. We were on the beach. We were like, we don't know what this is going to look like, but we feel something, and we want that feeling to be built. And so we took the feminine, the feeling, the joy, and then we had to create. So the feminine became the starting point. It didn't start with the mind. It didn't start with the mental. It started with the feeling. It was born in the bosom, in the womb of the feeling that we had, right? And then we took it to the masculine. So you could be having a job, for example, like I was teaching full-time 6 days a week. I hated it. I hated it so much, and it drained so much of my energy because I had no joy. I've been doing 6 days a week working on Insideology, and I wake up invigorated. I wake up refreshed. And what I create has power, right? So if you're not in tune with your feminine, you might be wasting a bunch of energy because what you're creating doesn't actually have your power inside of it, right? If you're at a job and you're working and it's not in tune with what you love and what you have joy with, it doesn't have the real power. Where like, we listen to our favorite artists, and there's some art that we receive and it moves us. It touches us, you know, and that's because they're channeling that feminine through that creation, right? So doing that work is so important because it gives you creative powers. And like Lisa said about the law of creation, if you're not tuned into your feminine powers, like what you create is not going to have the same effect. It's not going to have the same power in your life because you're creating it from the head and not from the heart. And the heart has power, whereas the brain is just here. The heart reaches through the entire body. You know, it flows, and it even feeds the brain, right? So you got to connect with that.
Does it make sense, Raymond, as you're processing?
Yeah.
Probably after this call, you're like, I'm confused. I'm still. It's all right. So yeah, like we just closed the session with Stephanie about the masculine and feminine, and the last session turned into a philosophical discussion. Any last words from anyone else who hasn't spoken? But you can still, like, you know, if you're shy, you can just still say there because it's a safe space. How do we close this session, Brandon?
I think can I share a poem with you guys? Because I feel like it kind of fits with this. Yeah, Victor's heard it a million times. Okay, so this was really much inspired by my struggle with masculinity and femininity as a little gay boy, like growing up in this world, and a lot of that. So I hope I can remember it. I'll try. I was not born in a box. I was born with galaxies gleaming in my eyes. I was conceived in the bosom of infinity, emerging, covered in the bloody crimson of contradiction, excitement and fear, love and pain. A mother pushing with the might of 1,000 lives to deliver just this one, and a father clenched like capillaries, laid deep into the flesh of a beating hand. I mean, a sturdy man like my dad in a backless gown with tears in his eyes, soiled in love and painted in pain. A macrocosm all but contained, and somehow I was wiped clean, sterilized of my inborn freedom, clipped of my ancient wings of choice, and tied to this receptacle of designation. With the signing of a pen, caverns were etched out into my essences. I was grated down to little pieces, strewn out like parts on an endless assembly line and placed into perfectly curated little pieces, complete with giant labels and overly simplified instruction manuals. I mean, you know, the kind that are pretty easy to read, but fucking difficult to follow. The rhythm that swirled in my blood, the dance that creaked in my limbs concealed, bounded by the plastic twist ties of expectations and insecurities and placed on a never-ending shelf of others. Figurines, caricatures, colors and characteristics distant but still reminiscent of my own, and while the earth was free to dance around the sun, we remained. But in these chains, an awareness always whispered to the back of my mind, you were born this way. From the moment I emerged an untamed seeker, my fingers tingled with a tactile for self-discovery, but the pen was stolen from my hands before I was even a thought. Before I could even spell my own name, this story was predicted through a microscope of normalcy. How to think, how to speak, how to behave, what to wear, cultured in a petri dish. A spoon-fed sick coiling through my blood, infecting this free mind and imagination, pirating a soaring ship that once flew high of aspiration just so it could ship this carefully curated cargo. Beneath the illusion of choice, freedom, and independence, you told me how to be me. Boy, man, tough, strong, a heart of flesh but of stone. Wait, sorry. A heart and figure, not of flesh but of stone. Nah. Hold on 1 second. I have to get it from my phone because I changed it and I always mess up. Damn it. Almost had it. Hardened figure, not of flesh, but of stone. God, my brain's not working. Don't be a bitch. Cause hardened figure, not of flesh, but of stone. Cause let's be honest, fellas, if it looks like a dick, talks like a dick, and walks like a dick, it definitely can't be a fucking pussy. And no matter how much I raked my brain, turning over these instructions, oh my God, no, can't be a fucking pussy. Don't be a bitch, pussy. Don't be a faggot, pussy. Man the fuck up, faggot. I'ma beat your ass. Shattered windows, broken glass. I'ma beat your ass. Bruises across my being. I'ma beat your ass. 11 staples in my head, teaching my neck why it's best to stay lowered. So I happily hid. A prisoner in a prism. Trapped in an animal's cage, I snuffed out my light in a silent rage, balled up my fist and beat down myself the way I was beaten and bullied for being too girly. Contain yourself, Brennan. Boys cannot roar like lions and be soft like flowers at the same time. cannot find it. I need it. Sorry, I don't know where it is. Sorry, I didn't prepare. Usually I prepare. Oh, okay. Contain yourself, Brendan. Boys cannot roar like lions and be delicate like flowers at the same time. And no matter how much I raked my brain, turning over these instruction manuals and storms of thoughts and emotions, I couldn't escape the feeling that maybe these manuals were just never meant for me, that these steps were just nothing but the oversimplification of my complicatedly unique existence, spelled out for someone I'm not, or maybe I'll never be. Or, I don't know, maybe I was manufactured wrong, or I'm defective, but no matter how broken I feel, there's no receipt for my return. I mean, don't you know the feeling of not fitting in? You, yeah, all of you,
Yeah.
mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, friends and enemies, purveyors of packages, curators of boxes. Look how we uphold this assembly line. See how we scribble in labels for our loved ones, reattaching our shackles dressed as soft candy anklets and telling little minds, fly. Reach, reach, reach for the stars, go beyond the sky, we tell them, we lie. See how we have packaged ourselves, turned infinity finite, boxed in our minds to think and believe as these instructions tell us, because to fail means to face yourself without the ease of generalization, and from the dust of society's empty promises and broken truths, rise. Peel back the thickened layer of lies and realize there are no simple answers. There's no cookie cutter for complexity. But when you are good and ready to let your truth creep between the cracks and crevices of this thing called normal, you can uncover your eyes, untuck your wings, unbind your limbs, dance, sing, cry, and rejoice as nobody but yourself. Let your scars become your colors. Let imperfections fly through your unkempt hair as they toss insecurities to the wind. Shout your story from the top of your lungs, because your existence matters. You were not born in a box. You were just placed in one. I will never fit into your boxes. I'm a mess, a beautiful fucking mess. I was born covered in the filth of contradiction, potential and possibility. I am both nothing like you. I am the earth, beautiful and dangerous, inspiring and treacherous, grand and insignificant, hurling through existence at the speed of light. I am the warm song of spring that follows the long dark winter's cold. I am the cool breeze that finds his way across your cheek in the sweltering desert. I am the foothills of the Himalayas, and the cold that bites at her outstretched peaks. I roar like a lion, roar, and leap like a gazelle. I ask lilies rise, butterflies fly from dark places I fell. I am mixed, I am complex, I am colorful, I am queer, and I am free. I cannot be contained. So today I say, hello world, I am. Hello stranger, you are too. So tell me, what is it like to be you?
Ooh.
All right, that was a really good ending to our very last session. I want to thank everybody for coming to this event. We poured out our hearts and our spirit and our hands to creating everything on here. So much appreciation and much gratitude to everybody.
Yes,
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you, Brandon.
To the world, to everyone. We just we could have hella promoted ourselves. We could have hella upsold people, but at the end of the day, what we really want is to raise the vibrations of this world. I really feel passionate so many people who are struggling at this time. There's just infinite possibility for beauty, and we're all like coming in this little virtual space. And then, you know, when we go out and we now, when you leave this space, you go interact with your world, you raise the vibrations of the people you interact with. So go from here, go out and say hi to that market stall lady and give this energy out into the world, like, you know. And so that's really what we wanted to create. It was just a powerful little nucleus of healing and of community. I mean, every day we've had like multicultural, multinational, multi-ethnic like groups, and it's just been so beautiful to know that like we were able to create this in 2 weeks, and it wouldn't be possible without everyone in attendance. So we thank you guys so much, and love and light to everyone.
Yes, thank you, Brandon, a lot. Your
Thank
energy
you.
is amazing. It charges me.
All right.
Who is that?
Jenny. She said,
okay.
thank you, Brennan. Your energy was
Amazing.
amazing.
Thank you. Mary too. Mary and I both
Yeah.
Everybody.
Jenny's my friend. I'm going to send her to you, Brennan. All right.
Okay. All right. Love you all, and enjoy the rest of your day or night or whatever.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Brennan. Thank you, Mary.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Now we're gonna sleep.
Okay.